What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Phil Wolter. What could possibly go wrong is not the expression used by me. What could possibly go wrong?
You wake up in the middle of the night, the tent was flapping like crazy. The wind was howling outside. You guessed it,
Another blizzard.
another blizzard.
And I suppose being in the mountains, a blizzard is not something that hits you from one angle. It's something that will bounce off the hills, bounce off the mountains, and hit you from 10 different angles all at once.
And this created the problem. Now we just went back to sleep and
It's just another blizzard,
yeah,
boys.
another blizzard, didn't take much notice.
The rest of us would have been cowering in our bunks or whatever, just scared out of our mind with this howling.
We were tough.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Winterers.
next morning we thought, right, what are we going to do? Nothing. The wind is still howling like mad. What are we going to do? Toothy had a good idea. Let's cook up another batch of stew. Cook this thing up, all ready to go. Beautiful.
Inside the tent.
Inside the tent this time. Not the best, but you had no choice.
Yeah.
We filled it up the brim. We thought we'll make this last all day. So we had this big pot of stew, filled to the brim, cooked it all up, just ready to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Just before you and then, what are you cooking it on?
Oh, little stove, little gas stove,
Little gas
kerosene stoves, I can't remember.
So you pump it up and then just...
Could have been one of them,
Okay,
yeah.
but sorry, just one thing. And then...
Right at that moment.
Right at that very
About
moment.
to take our first mouthful.
Yes. Yes.
Rip.
Rip. Flap, 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 flap.
Flapping got more
Yeah,
intense.
intense wind. The wind's coming in, the snow's coming in.
The tent is starting to rip apart.
Because that's
Now-
the only thing that's stopping you from being in the elements, isn't it? You
Yes.
literally, that's protecting you.
These tents were tough, really tough. They were built to handle Antarctic conditions, and if you put them up right, they never blew away either.
So you were sitting there going, oh, didn't I put it up right? Because you put the tent up.
No, it stayed. It didn't blow away, did it?
Oh, wow.
So it was put up right. The trouble was, as you said, the wind was coming from every direction. That the tent did not like.
So it just flapped from all ways.
It's going this way and then that way.
Yeah.
Normally the wind is pretty constant, even if it's blowing.
Yeah, so
hard.
sort of it gets used to it, yeah.
Not here, not on the top of a mountain.
And these are conical shapes, aren't they? These are conical shapes?
These particular ones were not. We did have them as well, but in this case, it wasn't one of them. It was one, the sort of, what do you call them, a triangular.
Did it send a chill down your side saying, oh, God, we're in trouble now? Because the wind blowing around through a hole would start to expand the tent.
Initially, we were too busy trying to figure out how to mend the tent on the inside.
So you're trying to stitch it up or something?
Yeah, you might use bits of rope and stuff, and nothing was working. Okay, we're going to have to go outside and see if we can fix it on the outside. We put on our ventiles, which are windproof coats, you might say. Out we went. We were fighting a losing battle still.
If you don't do something serious, you're going to be out in the environment because it's basically going to blow away.
This thing just not going to mend at all.
So what sort of wind are we talking about?
Oh, they're probably 70 to 80 knots, something like that.
But it's coming like you be baffed around.
As far as blizzards go, 70 to 80 knots isn't massive.
Yeah.
But when it's coming from every direction, it is.
Yeah, because it's like it's roaring through the mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're out desperately trying to stitch up, fix up.
Meanwhile, Toothy is laughing. Probably a nervous laugh, I don't know. But why is he laughing? But we're fighting a losing battle. This tent was gradually disintegrating. So what are we going to do? Because without it, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
So we hit on the solution. We collapsed it.
Oh.
Down the ground.
So you just pulled the pole out in the middle.
That's right.
And it just fell.
Lay it down. Ran the tent ropes over the top of it to keep it down.
And then peg them in.
Yep. And then we crawled back into the 6-inch high tent.
That's what I was going to say when I read it. It was like, how much space have you got underneath it? So 6 inches is not much.
Not much.
But it would have kept you out of the elements.
Yes.
Kept you reasonably, warmish.
It was a very good survival technique. There was one little flaw.
Was it the big stew pot in there?
It could have something to do with it.
And how come it didn't catch fire? Because it would have been on the stove, wouldn't it?
Oh, we would have turned the stove off.
Well, maybe. Not knowing you lot, yeah.
Well, we were about to eat it, so you turn the stove off and you're ready to get stuck into it when the little emergency occurred.
Jeez.
So, back in we go. There was stew all over the place.
Nice smelling.
It did. The tent smelled beautifully savoury. Everything.
So you can just lick everything.
Everything in the tent smelled savoury. The stew went through our bags, through our clothes, everything.
Oh, those sort of stews would be pretty basic stuff. Bit of meat, bit of gravy type, oxo cubes or something
probably
like
oats and stuff. Who knows? I can't remember now. Carrots and things.
Mm.
So we look like we're covered in spew, honestly.
But is it late daylight now? You said it's daylight.
Oh yes.
So it's daylight. You crawl in the tent because this blizzard's still belting along.
Yeah.
And literally, you got to crawl through this warm, slimy sludge. Yeah, you sort of lick your blanket to get a bit of food, and you just
there was
curl
enough
up
food we could eat.
Yeah,
but more than half the stew was all over the tent.
But you'd solved the problem.
We'd solved the problem. We weren't gonna die from the blizzard.
No,
wasn't very comfortable. That's all.
Yeah. So you snuggled back into your bed and went, Lord of the Rings Part 2.
That's exactly what I did. I think it might have been the bit where they're going through Moriah and they confront the Balrog.
Isn't that the mountain that's a monster?
Yeah, Moriah, the Moriah.
They were fighting or something. The two monsters were fighting.
No, only one monster down the pit, and he came up and challenged them. And I thought, we got our own Balrog here outside trying to attack us.
So we're talking the next day, and this blizzard is still going strong. So were you able to radio the base saying, hey, don't come and get us?
We did manage to communicate. It was not very good communications. It was enough that they knew we were alive.
Because that's the hardest part. I mean, literally, if you had lost that tent, you would have been in a very downward spiral to freezing to death.
That would have been very dangerous if that had happened.
Because there's no real caves or anything you just sort of nick into.
No, not when you're on the top of a mountain. So
you're huddled in there.
We survived that. I started to feel a bit ill.
Oh, that's not good.
So Toothy radios and says, "Yeah, we're alive. Phil's feeling crook and whatnot."
Yeah.
Anyway, we had to see out that day, and the blizzard just kept on blowing and blowing. That night we slept in our stew and stewed in our
Yeah,
and
stewed about your situation.
Yeah. The blizzard's still blowing.
So we're talking about already 24 hours of a blizzard. Literally the night before, all that day and into the night.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was maybe 2 days or something. The next morning, we woke up. Silence. Blissfully quiet. Looked around. Beautiful day again. And we thought, well, man, now what are we going to do? Let's get out of here. So we got out. We re-erected the tent, which without the wind, it would went up all right.
Mm.
And got all our clothes and draped them over the top and tried to clean stuff as best we could. We could melt snow to wash things where we needed to. And we started to feel a little more human again. Right. I could then get in and do some more reading.
Yes. Feeling more human.
Toothy radio and said, okay, all's well. We survived. I think he told them what had happened.
Yeah, it's all Phil's fault. Yeah. What surprises me about listening to the story is that, hey, you've been through more than 24 hours of a blizzard situation where you hunkered down and the blizzard's ended. You sort of pull yourself back together again, and you get on with your job.
That's right.
It's like nothing happened.
Yeah, so what happened? I did the readings until the choppers eventually arrived. Took them a while. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was a nice day. They came out and...
Did they give you another tent?
Yes.
Oh, hallelujah.
Wasn't that nice?
Oh, Allah.
Oh,
that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So they weren't going to let you go back to
Well, I said, yeah, what's the new tent for? You're not going home.
You said, what? I need a bit of a break.
You're going on to the next location. Oh.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow, that's a bit of kick in the guts, isn't it? I mean, you sit there go, please, can we just have one day off?
So they picked us up, took us to another location and left us there.
What? Which location was this one?
It's a place called Sheila Island, a small island just off the coast where I did the next
lot of readings.
But we did survive Latham Peak.
Wow. It's like it's just another day in Antarctica, isn't it?
That's right.
And what did you do? What do you do when you go back to Mount King and talk to the weather forecaster again?
The last weather report that we got was days before this blizzard hit.
Well, wouldn't you get one on a daily basis while you're on location?
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
No, but that's the sort of thing.
Yeah.
We've got a low pressure system, so be prepared for a potential blizzard situation.
Whatever. It caught us on the hop.
Yeah.
So we just had to use whatever method we had to get through it.
So when you collapse the tent, do you just pull the stick down from inside and then just lie it flat?
Yes. We laid it flat, ran the tent ropes over the top, and then got inside and propped it up a little bit with whatever we could find.
What about suffocating with the thing over your face?
Well, you had to make sure there's enough vent in there that air could circulate enough that you didn't kill yourself.
Yeah.
And of course, you didn't light the stove in those situations.
No.
But we did have enough stew to last us the day.
It's kind of extraordinary that you're on the mountain for 3 days. You've just been to 2 other different mountains before that, and then the next thing, we're just going to send you off to an island somewhere. Is that the end of the week for you, or is that? Do you just basically that's the end of your little jaunt for the day, and you go back to the base for a couple of days off before you start again?
I'd have to check. I think after Sheila Island we went back to the base, but I can't remember.
That's Mount King, that base.
The base is Mount King.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For a bit of a shower.
Oh yeah.
A bit of a decent meal, not stew.
Not stew.
Right. Well, that's another exciting adventure in Antarctica. Thanks, Phil. It's been great. Have you got anything more to add to this?
There's
little
nothing
jaunt
more to add. No.
Now, the other, just as a final point, with these magnetic readings that you do, you take them back to the main base when you've got them and log them into some sort of database system.
I actually had a calculator back at Mount King. So
Yeah.
I'd do all the calculations there. And then you could send the results that you did back to Canberra.
So would people be able to source that information in terms of, I want to know the sort of magnetic anomalies in those areas, to use them in other scientific pursuits?
This is available all around the world for people doing research, whatever they want to use that data for.
Okay. All right. Even the crazy scientists in darkest Russia.
Yes.
Right. All right, so there you go. Another exciting adventure. Stuck on the side of a mountain in a blizzard with a tent that was faulty. Did you find out the tent was really old? It just split along the old.
No, it's just the conditions are too much.
Just too much.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, shall we call it quits and say thank you very much, everybody, and join us on the next podcast. And look for the things down the bottom to find the links to the other podcasts. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Shall we do a cut?
We will.
And cut. Well done.